Thank you to all educators who find the time to do their day jobs, but also to uplift racial and social justice in their classrooms and beyond. At this time, I'd like to introduce our CTA officers. President David Goldberg, please come to the stage. Vice President Leslie Littman, please come to the stage. Yes, right here. Secretary Treasurer Erica Jones, please come to the stage. They will be introducing our awardees. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's doing great. It's good to see everyone. I just got about a 45-minute speech I'd like to make this evening. No, I'll be very brief. My main thing, I'm going to introduce some of our awardees, but I just want to put this night in some kind of just very brief context, because I know so much of what we do every day in our lives is fighting for respect, fighting for pay, fighting for our working conditions, fighting for bread, right? The figurative bread. But we also want roses too, right? We want bread and roses, right? Which, by the way, is a beautiful song that striking women, garment workers sang it around the turn of the century as they went on strike. It was Bread and Roses. So today, it's about honoring each other and about giving each other the roses that we all deserve. And so every one of us deserves to be recognized for the work we do and the commitment we make to each other and to our students and to a better world. That's what we do every single day. And so we have some incredible awardees we're about to bring up, but I just want to tell you this is about them, and it's about all of us. And so thank you all for being here and being part of this whole process. The first amazing person I'm going to bring up is going to be honored with the Lois Tinson Award. And it's really a great honor and reverence that we gather once again to celebrate the legacy of Lois Tinson, a trailblazer whose dedication to defending public education and championing the rights of all children remains an inspiration to us all. Dr. Tinson began her career in still segregated public schools in her home state of Arkansas. Then, like many folks, she came to Los Angeles in 1961 to set in motion a career in education, advocacy, and leadership that spanned over 40 years and included her staunch support for the LGBTQ+ education community. Lois Tinson's historic tenure as the first African-American president of CTA paved the way for a generation of new leaders who embodied her spirit of resilience and unwavering commitment to progress. That legacy continues to resonate profoundly, reminding us of the transformative power of advocacy and the importance of fostering equal opportunities for all. Tonight, we come together to recognize and honor an individual whose tireless efforts have furthered the cause of equality and justice within our communities. The African American Human Rights Award in honor of Lois Tinson serves as a testament to our collective commitment to uphold the principles of fairness and inclusivity that she championed throughout her illustrious career. I am deeply, deeply privileged to announce that this year's recipient of the African American Human Rights Award is none other than Denisha Jordan. Yeah. It appears Denisha may need no introduction, it seems like. Denisha Jordan, a distinguished member of United Teachers Los Angeles, whose exemplary leadership and unwavering dedication have left an indelible mark on our movement. CTA family, Denisha Jordan.
The way she communicates with her students through her language of perseverance, her language of love, and her language of strength, you know she's an advocate. You know she's a mentor to her students, and you hear the love that she pours into her classroom. She knows that fighting for students is fighting for human rights. She knows that fighting for BIPOC and LGBTQ+ educators is fighting for human rights. And so whatever she does, she really puts that at her forefront. She has always inspired us to continue moving forward when it came to certain events that uplift women, specifically Black women in our community. She also works with an organization called Educators for Racial Justice, in that she really advocates for the end of school policing on campuses, specifically the end of school policing on high school campuses. It's just great to see how much work she puts into it and how her love of students and the community comes out in her work. Because of that drive, that ambition she has, I know she's a leader, and she's a leader who not only uplifts students, but uplifts her colleagues. And so it's important to have role models such as Denisha in our field of education, and not just in education, but as union leaders. I'm immensely proud of Denisha. She fills me with joy, and I just know that she's a friend and a fellow activist, and I'm happy that she is getting this award because she truly deserves it. She puts so much work into our union, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. She's always there advocating for students and for educators. It makes me so happy that now she's getting the recognition that she deserves after 22 long years.
Try to use my time as wisely as possible. Good evening. With everything that's going on in this world, in this country, us educators, sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough, or we're not even capable of doing enough. I struggled with what I was gonna say tonight, but my mom, who I absolutely admire the most in this world for her courage, her strength, and her unyielding support, she told me to speak from the heart. So I'm gonna tell a story, and this story is in honor of Nex Benedict, an indigenous, non-binary, beautiful 16-year-old who was bullied, beaten, and died on February 8th. In 2013, a 6th grade student named Hallie enrolled in my PE class. I like to think that one of my superpowers is my ability to really connect with my students. And Hallie made it real easy. They were one of my best students. They were a real treat to teach and to have in my classroom. And I had the honor, privilege, and joy of teaching them for 3 years. At the beginning of the 8th grade year, they cut their hair short and they wanted to now be called Hal. I was 100% supportive of this courageous decision. And although I was 100% supportive, because I had always referred to them as Hallie, I just felt like I kept messing up, like all the time. And most importantly, I felt like I was letting Hal down. It's the end of the year, I'm chaperoning the Magic Mountain grad night. And Hal and their friends joined the line the same time as my colleagues and I, to ride our favorite roller coaster. And Hal and I, we laughed, we talked for the entire time we were in line. If you ever been to Magic Mountain, it was at least 90 minutes. It was easily the best part of my night. So now moving forward, it's the last day of school of the 2016 school year. I sign in, check my mailbox like many of us do every day, and there was a gift. There was a gift in my mailbox. So I take it back to my office, and I open it, and when I opened it, Hal had painted this picture of the roller coaster that we rode that night. Students will always be at the center of everything I do. I will use my voice and any platform that I'm given to advocate for our BIPOC and our LGBTQ+ students. So thank you, CTA and United Teachers Los Angeles, for giving me the opportunities to do so. Thank you.
By the way, Denisha also shared that her mom is her personal shopper and picks out these amazing outfits too. The next one of our honorees for tonight is for the American Indian Alaska Native Human Rights Award in honor of Jim Clark. And tonight we come together to honor and enduring legacy of Jim Clark, a beacon of hope and resilience for American Indian and Alaska Native communities. In his memory, we gather to recognize the profound contributions of individuals who have dedicated themselves to advancing the rights and well-being of Indigenous people across our nation. The American Indian Alaska Native Human Rights Award, named in honor of Jim Clark, symbolizes our collective commitment to justice, equality, and cultural preservation. It is a testament to the resilience and strength of the Indigenous communities whose voices and traditions continue to enrich the fabric of our society. Without further ado, it is my privilege to announce the recipient of this prestigious award, Billy Scott, from the Porterville Education Association. In his steadfast pursuit of justice and equality, Billy Scott has embodied the spirit of Jim Clark, advocating tirelessly for the rights and dignity of American Indian and Alaska Native communities. As we celebrate these remarkable achievements of Billy tonight, let us all rededicate ourselves to the noble cause of advancing Indigenous rights and promoting cultural understanding and respect.
He has been advocating for equal treatment of Native Americans. He was born in Osage Nation in northeastern Oklahoma, and he's a tribal member of the Delaware Indians and Cherokee Nation. One of the biggest things right now that Bill is doing to advocate for not only Native Americans but other students at his own campus as well as around our community is to find scholarships for students to attend college. He also will help them find housing and part-time work to support them while they're at college. Another thing he is doing is he is part of the Running Strong organization. It's a nationwide organization that helps preserve Native Americans' culture, their language, their overall well-being, including healthcare resources. Being an advocate is important because there's still more work to do. We're not where we need to be as a society. There's still inequalities. There's still human rights that are not being met. He's inspiring his students and pushing his students to help them realize that it's up to them to continue this fight.
Oh man, that last one's going to be really hard to try to even come compared to. So anyway, very, very moving. Billy Scott, Cherokee Nation, also Lenape Nation, raised in Osage Nation in Oklahoma. My advocacy started in the 1980s, and it was with Billy Mills. It was Dee Ketchum. He was our chief of Lenape Nation. It was also with Wilma Mankiller. She was the chief of Cherokee Nation. And what we did was we actually went out and we started helping refurbish homes. We started building homes. We started running water lines to all the tribal people that were in our great nation. Dee Ketchum, he played basketball. He was also our basketball coach. When I was younger, Dee Ketchum played basketball at the University of Kansas. He was roommate with Billy Mills. Billy Mills was also the 1964 Olympic winner, and it was the largest upset, and still the largest upset in Olympic history. Wilma Mankiller and my Aunt Maudine, they were at the occupation of Alcatraz in 1969 to 1971, and they always told us to make sure that we got educated and we helped future generations. In 1992, when I was playing football at Fresno State, I got a scholarship. I came all the way from Oklahoma to Fresno State. I was playing football there. I started tutoring Native American junior high students, also the high school students, and I also started helping them with career mapping. While I was also there, I was a part of the Native American Club. I also was a member of the American Indian Association, and then I also was helping build local homes. We were also rehabbing them, was installing safe water systems in the Fresno area, and we also helped the Native Americans start getting government contracts. I also started helping them with their ASBA 8A certification. I also started helping them with their USDA farm loans and also their upward mobility, and I still do that today. After retiring from my professional football career, I became a teacher and a college professor. I was the director of the Future Generations Native American Club and a mentor in college careers. Now, I got one thing I want to go over here real quick. There was a Native American assistance until 2022. There was none. And Dr. Michael Drake and Dr. Greg Sears implemented the Native American Opportunity Program for the University of California. And what this was, it does not violate Proposition 209, okay? Because Native Americans are part of a sovereign nation. That law recognizes them as federal recognized tribes. The question is, our California State University system does not do this. It only costs about $2 million a year for the UC in order to provide this assistance to people. The CSUs do not do it. There's only 1,400 Native American students at the UCs. There's only 845 students at the CSUs. My biggest problem is we have to get the CSUs on board. If there's anybody in this room that knows Chancellor Garcia or anybody that's on the board with the CSUs, please contact them and ask them why, because Native Americans contribute over $1.9 billion a year to state and local governments. I want to thank Stanley Ennis. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank the board members for PEA at Porterville. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Billy. All right. The next honoree is actually for a chapter. We recognize a chapter one of our CTA chapters, for their great work. And this is the CTA Chapter Human Rights Award. Each year we do this for an outstanding contributions of a local chapter. And this year we're recognizing the Fontana Teachers Association, a shining example of an unwavering dedication and tireless advocacy in the pursuit of human and civil rights. In our ongoing quest for justice and equality, CTA acknowledges and celebrates the pivotal role played by local chapters in safeguarding and advancing the fundamental principles of human dignity and social progress. Each year we have the privilege in honoring a chapter whose exemplary efforts embody the very essence of our shared commitment to building a more just and equitable society. It is great pleasure of mine and admiration to bestow this chapter award to the Fontana Teachers Association in recognition of its transformative work in promoting awareness, equality, and empowerment within our communities.
The Fontana Teachers Association in the last school year established an equity team for the first time. The union is working with the district, and in order to, they have encouraged the district, and the district now sends a cohort of teachers to CTA conferences for professional development. We're inviting them to do things that are meaningful but are more authentic way to bring that equity into their classrooms. I see our members working every day in the classroom to bring more diverse resources to their teaching. We've been targeted by an organization who asked our school board to put a proposal onto their agenda for a forced outing policy. Our members rallied the school board so that it did not make the agenda, and also showed up at the school board meeting so that we had a large contingent of some sort. I am very proud of the members of FTA. It's so important that we bring meaningful change in order that everyone can have an equal opportunity in our society. FTA is working to make sure that happens.
Well, when I got the call a few weeks ago, it was an emotional moment. I gotta say, I did not expect this. I'm honored to be on the stage tonight with a gathering of my incredible union siblings, my sisters, my brothers, and my very own daughter, to accept this award on behalf of the equity team of the Fontana Teachers Association. 2 years ago, we did not have a functioning equity team. So how did we go from nothing to receiving this recognition tonight? Part of the answer to that question is something that everyone in this room knows: hard work, consistency, and persistence. The equity team developed, actually I think I just got a page out of order. I had a few editors help me so that no one is left out. Anyway, I pretty much know what I want to say anyway. This equity team developed a land acknowledgement, which we are working to get the executive board to add to our agenda to open our rep council. The team has been instrumental in supporting our 2-year campaign to make our BIPOC ethnic minority at large a permanent member of our executive board with a 2-year term like the other directors. Our equity team is developing a working partnership with our district's new initiative, the department centered on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So returning to the earlier question of how did we go from not having a functioning equity team 2 years ago to receiving this award tonight, we as an association had to take an honest look at ourselves. We had to ask ourselves if our rep council or executive board were exemplifying the values that our association, the CTA, and the NEA stand for. Honest self-reflection is not always easy. There might be something in the mirror looking back at you that you don't want to see, or not see something that should be there. Where were our BIPOC members? Where were our LGBTQ plus members? Where were our younger members? At this point, I need to recognize the contributions of our CTA staff, Connie Rosales, she worked ceaselessly to organize a meeting to bring these teachers together to share their thoughts, experiences, and concerns about our association. Honest, open, painful experiences of our BIPOC members were shared. The common thread in their tapestry of stories is that they did not feel welcome in their own association. They did not feel welcome in their own association. Imagine the strength that it takes to go into a place where you do not feel welcome and tell your story. A few of these courageous people are here tonight as members of our equity team. In fact, we have about 14 people here, and that's partly due to our partnership with the district, with some individuals there who work hard and recognize that we do share common goals. Within our own association, we must work to get our own houses in order, repair the damage, and build our houses larger so that there is room to welcome everyone. Finally, I hope I haven't exhausted you all. I'm a proud admirer of my organization. I would like to thank the Fontana Teachers Association Equity Team for their hard work, time, and continued commitment to the advancement of our association. And thank you all. It feels like I'm home.
Gonna pause for 1 second, but if you are missing your cell phone, it's up here ringing. So it's my honor to present the CTA Member Human Rights Award. In the fight for racial and social justice, we stand on the shoulders of those who have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of equality and justice for all. At this moment, we come together to honor the efforts and the unwavering commitment of individuals who have tirelessly worked to promote human and civil rights within their communities, serving as beacons of hope and inspiration for us all. The CTA Member Human Rights Award stands as a testament to the profound impact that individuals can have when they stand up for what is right and just. It is a symbol of our collective resolve to create a world where every individual is treated with dignity, respect, and compassion. Tonight, it is my privilege to announce the recipient of this esteemed award to Lori D. St. Aubin, whose dedication to eradicating racism and discrimination within her school community has made a lasting impact on the lives of countless individuals. Without further ado, let us celebrate the extraordinary achievements of Lori and recommit ourselves to the noble cause of advancing human rights and social justice for all.
She just has the biggest heart of anybody that I know. During the pandemic, she decided that she needed to go visit all of her kids. When she asked the families what they needed the most, she said that they needed food. So she started delivering groceries, and to date, she has been delivering groceries to 55 families. She's often seen before school going to the Costco Business Center to pick up groceries, and then after school, she will make grocery deliveries. She started a nonprofit called Bridging Grace, And she has a food pantry, and people make donations and they volunteer. She has helped families in need when they have had no place to live. She's helped them find housing. She has helped furnish places because they had no furniture, went through courses to become an adoptive parent, these fostered families. So at first, she would get any extra money that she had saved, and she would go and buy the groceries herself. One time she was saved money because she needed to get a root canal. There was a greater need that she thought, and so she used her root canal money to purchase groceries for the family. She took on, we have a socio-emotional program here at school called Soul Shop, and she took charge of the students who we call peacemakers, and she helps train them and gets it all set up and has a schedule to teach the students how to better help their peers with conflicts that they have in class or out on the yard. I'm so proud to be able to work with her, and she is, okay, wait, I just can't, it's just making me want to cry. She embodies everything that human rights is, and I'm so proud to be her colleague and friend.
Okay, well, I can't see a thing but all these lights. Okay, thank you so much, and I'm both honored and humbled to be receiving this award today. But since I only have 2 minutes, I'm going to get right to the heart. We have a signal word in kids' church where I say, love God and love people. And the students respond, whatever that looks like in my world. Love looks different everywhere for different people in different situations. But love, the opportunity to love, is always available. In 2009, I was working with some very powerful, mostly women of color, abolitionists to combat human trafficking at its core in the Bay Area. I can tell you I had serious imposter syndrome sitting at that table. 3 years in, I attended a conference where the speaker gave us a 10-10-10 challenge. Do something in 10 minutes to make an impact. Then, do something bigger in 10 days. And finally, do something even bigger in 10 months. That 10-10-10 challenge changed everything for me. And this is the power that I gained. If we look at the suffering and the struggles of our planet, our country, our state, our cities and districts, our schools, and even in our classrooms, we can be overwhelmed with a sense of powerlessness to change anything. But we don't have to. We don't have to solve 10-month problems every single day. We can change the world around us 10 minutes at a time. We can, yeah, you can clap for that. We can make an impact on individual cycles of, We can make an impact on individual cycles of insecurity, self-doubt, poverty, divorce, abuse, homelessness, hunger, all of it. Each one of us in this room has a different sphere of influence, a different world, if you will. So my challenge to you today is for just 10 minutes at a time to love God and love people, whatever that looks like in your world.
So each year, we gather to honor Service Center councils whose exceptional efforts have significantly advanced the cause of human and civil rights within our association and communities. This Service Center has implemented projects to educate members on these critical issues, fought discrimination, promoted equal educational opportunities, and worked tirelessly to reduce violence and hate-motivated incidents. Their advocacy has fostered greater inclusivity, improved intergroup relationships, and empowered marginalized communities. Through their commitment, they have established effective human rights programs, educated others about threats to civil liberties, and championed educational opportunities for all students, including those with physical and mental challenges. With great pride and admiration, I announce the recipient of this year's award for Service Center Human Rights Award to Southeastern Service Center Council. Their exceptional efforts have not only transformed lives, but have also helped pave the way for a more just, equitable, and inclusive society for generations to come. Please join me in congratulating Southeastern Service Center Council for their outstanding contributions and unwavering commitment to the cause of human and civil rights.
Folks in Southeastern, they're just so giving, and they really want to make sure that whatever we do together, it's going to benefit our communities and our students. Southeastern Service Center has taken on some projects to engage with community organizations, and these community organizations really center around our communities and helping students, and particularly those in need. We do drives every time we have a Service Center meeting, have benefited Boys and Girls Clubs, women's shelters, reunification with foster children and their parents, and also the latest one that we did this past month was a drive called Get on the Bus, and what it does is it helps to take children of incarcerated parents to visit them and make the event, the visit, less traumatic and just a better experience overall. Southeastern has always been a very generous service center, and even before we started doing some of the community-based work and partnering with organizations, every meeting we would also have a fundraiser or raise funds for CTA disaster relief, because we're generous with our community, but we also want to make sure that we do support our own members, because we never know when a disaster will hit. What's really important about Southeastern members or Southeastern Service Center people is that it's just an extension of their family, just so giving, and a very family feel when we're in our meetings, and out of the meetings, it's just very connected. I am very proud of the Southeastern Service Center. They exemplify everything that each person shows in their daily work, in their interactions with one another. It's who I want to be around, who I want to work with, who I want to celebrate with. That's who the Service Center folks are.
Good evening, CTA. I'd like to accept this award on the behalf of Southeastern Service Center, where Lorraine Richards is our current chair. I am Ardelia Dee Aldridge, the current Southeastern at-large council delegate. It's our honor to accept this award and recognizing Southeastern Service Center Council. Despite there being multiple at-large representatives in the last few years, the Service Center has maintained and moved forward with including equity as a part of its charge. No matter the size of our team, we assisted with implementing the plan and moving forward each year. Now that I am the recently elected at-large, I look forward to working with all the Southeastern equity teams across our association. The Southeastern Service Center has a long-standing commitment to our schools and communities. Our task force have brought forth some amazing opportunities for philanthropic and educational engagement with various agencies making an impact. We have partnered with many community organizations to, one, make an impact in other people's lives, and two, help the communities understand that teachers' unions are so much more than a contract. Thank you. Some of the organizations we have worked with are the Covenant House, Women's Room, Care Community Help Program, Shelters Right Hand, LA Regional Food Bank, New Life Beginnings, My Friend's Place, Center for Restorative Justice Works, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, Penny Lane Center, and CASA LA. When the members of Southeastern Service Center come together for our meetings, we know that not only are we bringing donations for our most marginalized communities, we are also connecting with and learning about different local community organizations. We have found that it is such a gift to be able to do something good for someone else. In fact, on the behalf of Southeastern Service Center, I challenge everyone here to partner with an organization and spread some joy, kindness, and offer support in your communities. Thank you again on behalf of Southeastern Service Center.
Thank you. So tonight, we gather to pay tribute to the remarkable legacy of Nancy Bailey, a visionary educator and pioneer in the fight for equality and inclusion within the LGBTQ+ community. Nancy's unwavering commitment to justice and advocacy continues to inspire us today, reminding us of the transformative power of activism and solidarity. The Human Rights Awards for LGBTQ+ advocacy in honor of Nancy Bailey serves as a beacon of hope and resilience, recognizing the tireless efforts of individuals who have dedicated themselves to advancing equity and equality within our schools, our communities, and our society at large for LGBTQ+ individuals. It is with great pride and admiration that I stand before you to announce the recipient of this prestigious award, Olive Garrison, a trailblazer whose unwavering dedication and leadership have left an indelible mark on the LGBTQ+ rights movement. Olive Garrison's courageous efforts to combat bullying and harassment, raise awareness about LGBTQ+ issues through political activism, and eliminate discrimination and hate-motivated violence against LGBTQ+ individuals exemplify the very essence of Nancy Bailey's legacy. Through their unwavering commitment to justice and equality, Olive has not only transformed lives, but has also paved the way for a more inclusive and equitable future for LGBTQ+ individuals everywhere. As we honor Olive tonight, let us draw inspiration from their remarkable example and rededicate ourselves to the cause of LGBTQ+ rights and social justice. Let us stand in solidarity with LGBTQ+ individuals, affirming their inherent dignity and worth, and working tirelessly to create a world where every individual can live authentically and freely without fear of discrimination or prejudice.
It's hard when we can't protect each other from stuff like this. In moments like this, I remember that our queer ancestors fought so hard and lost so much. Tearing up, reading it. They are the reason I'm not scared to lose my job and that I know I'm doing the right thing. And they always reminded our community that we are the lucky ones. She's the epitome of queer joy, fierce advocate, an amazing educator. They're the ones that taught me that as important as GSA and other affinity clubs are in our schools,
how to combat bullying the most, because that's important for those kids to have a space. But teaching LGBTQ history in the schools, they showed me the research that shows that that is more powerful even than having a GSA club, because that affects all students. When they're all learning about LGBTQ history, then it decreases bullying, it just makes it a safer community for school. January 2023, there was an article published that they were interviewed for. My understanding is that the reporter said, I want you to talk about this trans student that you had and how you supported them through that transition. There was this big photo shoot of them and their student, and they felt really good about it. When the article was published, it ended up being about parents angry that they weren't notified that their kids were transitioning at school. They started getting death threats because Fox News picked up on it. They were just totally under attack. The district had to turn off their email because of the death threats and just the nasty, hateful messages. Despite death threats, Olive continues to advocate for students to be a safe person at school. The teaching and their administrators, when they interviewed to transfer over to the new school, they were asked about, we know you're a GSA advisor, we want you to keep doing that. I think that's awesome. And I just remember being struck by Olive said, this is the first time that my queerness has been an asset for a job rather than a liability. I'm proud of Olive. I'm proud to be their friend. I'm proud to be their colleague. I'm proud to be a fellow advocate, educator. The world is a better place because of Olive.
Excuse me, sorry, that was, oh my gosh, Elise, thank you so much. Friends, co-conspirators, and allies, today I meet you with profound gratitude and humility as I accept this award in honor of Nancy Bailey. It's especially special for me because Nancy Bailey was a fellow Bakersfield educator and a beacon for equality, justice, and human rights. She exemplified an unwavering commitment to inclusivity, acceptance, and love. And that has left an indelible mark on our journey towards equality in Kern County especially. Today, I want to honor her memory by continuing the work that she started and striving to create a world where everyone can live an authentic life. I don't have to remind all of you of the importance of teaching about LGBTQ history, but I will anyways. Adrienne Rich, who's a queer poet and a queer theorist, once pointed out that when somebody who has the authority of a teacher describes society and leaves you out of it, it is like looking into a mirror and seeing nothing. And so I feel compelled to take this opportunity to shed light on the urgent need to address the pervasive issue of anti-trans bullying in our schools, a reality that NEX faced with unimaginable courage and resilience. Their story serves as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities that many of us in the LGBTQ community face daily. When I saw the news about NEX, I felt like I was reading a story about myself, about my students, about my friends. Today, as we honor NEX's memory, we must also recommit ourselves to the fight against anti-trans bullying and all forms of discrimination. We must stand together as allies, advocates, and champions for equality, and we must work tirelessly because we all deserve to use the bathroom in peace. Let us pledge to be agents of change, voices of hope, and beacons of love in our own communities and beyond. Let us honor their memory by striving for a future where all of us can live authentically without fear of persecution. Today I want to thank my wife, who has filled my life with lots of softness and joy. Made the last few years of everything that had happened with the news feel so much smaller in comparison to the rest of my life. I wanted to thank my friend Elise Sotelo, who many of you know and are inspired by. Elise, from the moment I began teaching, has inspired me every day to keep fighting. I felt imposter syndrome. I was like, why aren't you getting this award? And I wanted to say that, of course, I do this for my students who are worth fighting for, and everything is for them. But I also want to remind ourselves that we were all students once, and that we deserved educators who saw us. So thank you to CTA. Thank you to CTA for hosting this event and placing value on advocacy and activism. And I hope that we can all continue to be guided by the principles of equality, justice, and compassion. Thank you so much.
Just a little higher. All right. Tonight, on the second day of Women's History Month, we gather to celebrate the remarkable journey of individuals who have advanced the cause of women's rights, an endeavor that lies at the very core of our shared commitment to justice and empowerment. In the spirit of resilience and determination, we present the Human Rights Award for Women's Advocacy, an honor bestowed annually upon those whose unwavering dedication has sparked positive change and illuminated the path toward a more inclusive and equitable society. I am thrilled to announce this year's recipient of this prestigious award to Jessica Potts, a beacon of inspiration and tireless advocate within the Irvine Teachers Association. Jessica's leadership and unwavering commitment to raising awareness of gender bias and women's issues have been a catalyst for transformation within our community. Through her steadfast advocacy and innovative approach, she has empowered women to challenge the status quo and redefine the boundaries of possibility. Moreover, Jessica's dedication to advancing women's rights through leadership training and educational programs has ignited a flame of empowerment, inspiring women to embrace their potential and seize opportunities for growth and self-actualization. As we honor Jessica tonight, let us not only celebrate her remarkable achievements, but also reaffirm our collective commitment to women today and our little girls of tomorrow.
If our educators are adequately supported, if their needs are met, if they feel valued and seen, they can do their jobs better. And Jess is someone who's willing to do the work to make that happen. She has worked so hard for the last couple of years in working collaboratively with state officials, national officials, to make it so that women who have miscarriages or have other pregnancy losses or failed adoptions are able to use their a special leave instead of their regular sick leave to grieve, to process. She has done a lot of work around making sure that women have the right to grieve when they lose a baby, to be able to say, I lost a life inside of me and that's hard. And to be able to take space for that and be able to say, you know what, I do need a couple of days to process that and to grieve that. And she is someone who was very passionate about that and worked for years, multiple years, when nobody even knew the work, right? All the behind the scenes, the meetings, the emails, the follow-up. She is someone who put in countless hours to make women's life, female educators' lives better. And she's also one of those people who's not afraid to have hard conversations around the things that happen, the differences sometimes in what female professionals experience, where there are times still, even in this day and age, when we all know better, where people are experiencing sexist treatment or preferential treatment, and she is not afraid to open the doors to those conversations to try to make things better. She's been open and honest about, unspeakable traumas that she has endured, and she has done that in order to advance conversations around protecting women and protecting our experiences and the things that we deal with on a regular basis, both personally and professionally. I'm so proud of her. I watched her, grow and take these risks and be willing to step out of her comfort zone. Maybe she's not someone whose very favorite thing in the world is public speaking. She's not like gonna run up to stage and volunteer first, but she's a person who's gonna do it every single time because she needs to, and not because she needs to for her, but because she needs to for us.
You guys, I didn't know there was going to be a video. So give me a second here. Don't count that towards my 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Let me open by saying that I do not consider this an individual award. The fight for women's rights is a collective effort with advocates standing on shoulders of those who came before them. Women's rights is a generational struggle, a history as long as humanity. Today, I want to thank a few women to get started: Lisa Hickman, Erica Jones, Barbara Dawson, Sonia Carney, Shelley Bittner, Amanda Philippe, and Christine McEwen for allowing me to stand on their shoulders. These women epitomize the idea of strong women supporting women. Some of these women were there for my very first steps into activism by sharing my Me Too story at the NEA-RA in front of 8,000 people. In advocating for rights to abortion access. Some of them I met later on advocating on issues to tangibly improve women's lives, such as the fight for menstrual products in bathrooms and bereavement leave after pregnancy loss. Regardless of when they came into my life, I hope they understand the impact that they have had on me. Unfortunately, the fight for women's rights is far from over. I would be remiss if I did not use this platform to bring attention to an important piece of proposed legislation. Erica Jones introduced AB 2901 last week. This would provide 14 weeks of paid pregnancy leave to educators. Woo. Right now, women have to take their sick leave before tapping into any differential leave related to pregnancy and childbirth. This current status quo has resulted in a gap of $100,000 in retirement benefits between male and female educators. Even in a profession dominated by women, we can find modern examples of how women are still fighting for equality. I want to close by recognizing that women everywhere, from every walk of life, continue to fight for the basic equalities in everyday aspects of society. I want to highlight these anonymous women. They are the warriors fighting against deep-seated systemic discrimination, cultural biases, unjust societal norms, and ingrained prejudices. The women who battle on the front lines on behalf of women everywhere rarely find themselves on stages like this accepting awards, but I want to recognize them tonight. Thank you.
Sorry, my baby's crying. All right, tonight we gather with deep reverence and gratitude to honor the remarkable achievements of individuals who have devoted themselves to the cause of justice and empowerment within the Pacific Asian American communities. In this moment of reflection and celebration, we pay tribute to those whose unwavering dedication has illuminated the path toward a more inclusive and equitable society. The Pacific Asian American Human Rights Award stands as a symbol of our collective commitment to dignity, respect, and solidarity. It is a testament to the resilience and strength of Pacific Asian American communities whose voices and experiences enrich the fabric of our society. With great pride and admiration, I am thrilled to announce the recipient of this esteemed award, Gabriel S. Alegre, a visionary leader and tireless advocate within the San Mateo Elementary Teachers Association. Gabe's leadership in raising awareness of immigrant issues, advocating for bilingual education programs, and preserving Pacific Asian American history exemplifies the transformative power of activism and advocacy. Through his ongoing commitment to educational equity and social justice, Gabe has inspired meaningful change and laid the foundation for a more inclusive and equitable future for all.
He embodies what it means to be an activist and a human rights advocate. He started calling us siblings, and he uses culturally responsive and culturally sustaining pedagogy, but he also embodies it as a person. So he created his own content, he's a writer, we see him on protests and rallies, and showing up like that for us, and I know that he does for the youth, is one of the main reasons that it's been an honor to work with him, to know him, to be his friend, and also I know that he's bringing that energy into the classroom as well. He doesn't believe that the system is neutral. He's not a passive observer to the things that are going on that would affect marginalized students. He's an active participator. Because he embodies that, youth and children of today, especially with the current political polarity, need someone who is showing up for them, is teaching in an intersectional and culturally responsive manner, and is also doing their own work outside of the classroom that they can see out in the community and out in public, and that is who Gabe is. He's very well informed, he knows where he stands, and it's that conviction and fierceness that calls you in and also helps you have a platform to stand on when you're trying to do your own work. So if you have such conviction and fierceness as Gabe does, then you feel called in as a person, and then as a youth, I imagine you also feel supported in whatever you're standing up for as well. There's not enough accolades to give him, but I'm very proud of Gabe because of what he's given me as an RJA sibling, what I hope I've returned to him in some way, but just staying in the educational field with all this political polarity is quite a feat, and he's been at it for years, and so I think just his being consistent and courageous is what I'm proud of. Gabe is awesome, and I love him dearly, and I know the whole RJA cadre loves him.
Hi. So I'm going to ask flexibility with the time. Good evening. Magandang gabi. Buenas noches. I am honored, humbled, and overwhelmed with gratitude to receive the 2024 Pacific Asian American Human Rights Award. I would like to thank some very important people in the audience. First, my life partner, Kat General. She has always been my guiding light in this journey. I love you more than yesterday. To my cousin Michael and Josephine, thank you for making time to be here. Your presence tonight and support means a lot to me. To my RJA family, I would not be here if it were not for all of you. I accept this award on behalf of the members of RJA. I didn't get here on my own. AAPI women have played an integral role in shaping the person I am today. Of course, my mother is at the top of that list. She has shown me the strength of Filipinas. But then there's my friend Arlene Enuye, who has shared so much of her wisdom with me. Arlene has done so much for all of us in this room. Arlene taught me that sometimes in achieving the greater good, sacrifice must be part of the path that leaders must walk. The road we walk as BIPOC educators is hard. It is exhausting. Sometimes it feels like you're alone, but you are not. I learned over the years that one cannot do this alone. It must be done collectively. It is important to work together in this fight for equity. It is also important to know that in addition to BIPOCs fighting for ourselves, there are co-conspirators that ground this work with us and use their privilege to align with us to advance our cause. I want to take this moment again to shout out to my siblings in RJA that make me appreciate the importance of the work we do. They show me that the impossible is possible. I stand here on the shoulders of people who have paved the way for me, everyday heroes who live and work among us like Arlene Inouye, as well as historic Asian American figures like Larry Itliong and Philip Veracruz, who took action on their values to improve the workplace for Filipino migrant farm workers. They remind me that the racial representation matters. But to make a difference in this movement, it is not enough to have physical racial representation. As BIPOC leaders in this movement, we must reflect the hearts, the minds, and the souls of the people we represent to advocate for change. There's a Tagalog saying, isang baksa. It translates to one down, and it means that we all fall and rise together. Filipino organizers like Larry Itliong and Philip Veracruz introduced this concept with fellow activist and organizer Cesar Chavez during the farm worker grape strike in the 1960s. The strike grew to a very successful boycott and resulted in the creation of the United Farm Workers Union. Itliong and Chavez used the isang baksak phrase to create a unity clap, a practice that brought together Filipino and Mexican migrant workers after a long day in the fields. It was a way to communicate across language barriers and advocate their cross-cultural fight for farm workers' rights. Here in CTA, we are one. And as one, we fall and rise together. As we continue to build cross-cultural solidarity in our union and work together as CTA members to overcome obstacles, I invite you to join me in demonstrating of solidarity in this room. At this time, we're going to do an exercise. Again, that's the flexibility. My RJA folks, can you guys come up and help me lead Isang Baksak Unity Clap? RJ folks, come on up. I will call you out if you don't. Okay, let me explain this. Right here, just line up. Okay, here's how it's going to go. The unity clap symbolizes the heartbeat of the people, our heartbeat. We will start slow, like the pace of a heartbeat. The clap will grow faster and stronger and louder, eventually building up to a chorus of applause. I will shout out, Isang Baksak, to signal a unified front that we all fall and rise together. And we all end in one final collective clap. You guys ready? Please stand up. You guys ready? And here we go. Isang Baksak! Thank you all for this honor. Now let's go do the work.
All right. We gather to celebrate the profound impact of individuals who have dedicated themselves to championing the rights of students with exceptional needs, a cause that lies at the heart of our commitment to equity and justice in education. The Students with Exceptional Needs Human Rights Award honors those whose unwavering dedication has transformed the landscape of education, ensuring that every student, regardless of ability, has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. I am so proud to announce this year's recipient, Deborah Schneider Solis, a beacon of compassion and advocacy within the United Teachers Los Angeles. Deborah's leadership in eliminating discrimination, developing inclusive curriculum, and raising awareness of the challenges faced by students with exceptional needs embodies the essence of our shared commitment to equal opportunity and dignity for all. As we honor Debbie Schneider Solis tonight, let us draw inspiration from her tireless efforts and reaffirm our collective commitment to creating inclusive learning environments where every student can reach their full potential.
A true advocate, serving special education students, exceptional needs students for 19 years at the elementary level. She has testified in Congress, she's testified at the State Assembly on behalf of our students with exceptional needs. When charter co-locations happen, she is watching, looking at the fiscal impact, the programmatic impacts for our students are not harmful. In 2019, in our strike, we had a lot of special education educators that said that they didn't feel like the contract spoke for them. And what folks did, and Debbie leading that charge, was to create spaces of opportunity, not only for growth, but for voice. And with that voice, in 2023, when we went on our solidarity strike, Debbie and the committee came together to really put forward bold ideas that are now being implemented in our schools today. That's under the leadership of Debbie. For us, for the community, she is someone that is fierce, not only an advocate, but an activist, and I am truly proud to know her and to know that she is standing up on righteousness for our babies.
Thank you, CTA. I am honored this evening to be the recipient of the Students with Exceptional Needs Human Rights Award. This award is very meaningful because not only am I a special education teacher, but so is my mom. Thank you, Mom, for being such an inspiration to me and a mentor as I began my own career. I have been working with students with exceptional needs for more than 18 years. Through the Great Recession, class size increases, cutting of programs, rolling out of different inclusion plans, caseload increases, and just generally being overworked, underappreciated, and of course underpaid, we keep going, we keep fighting, we keep lifting up our students who deserve so much more. Special education historically has seen massive disinvestment connected to the overall historic disinvestment in public education. Advocating for special education educators also means advocating for general ed. General education is special education, and special education is general education. Students with exceptional needs are marginalized within our schools and need all of us to be their advocates. I started getting involved with my union when I was pregnant with my first daughter, Isabella, and looking back to the meetings where I had my kids in tow, the rallies they attended, the strike lines they supported, I have to say thank you to this union space and my family for being inclusive and supportive, and I am so glad we're continuing to work to make these spaces easier for parents. I don't do this work alone. From the CTA Council Special Education Committee to my local special education network, so many of you I have worked alongside, learned from, and thank you for being a part of my union family. When I testified in DC for fully funding IDEA, I spoke for all of you, for all of our students. It is ridiculous that the promise to our students with exceptional needs has yet to be fulfilled, and it is up to all of us to keep fighting. Thank you.
We now have two keynote speakers. Is that too high?
We shall see. For our closing remarks tonight, on the 40th anniversary of this wonderful awards program, we will hear from two past awardees, both of whom I've had the pleasure to work alongside with, have been my siblings in the struggle. It's a treat to have them here with us tonight. First Frank, then Miyuki.
Evening. This is so high. How do you? All right. All right. Awesome. Just want to take a look. Yeah. Erica, Leslie, David, thanks. It's obvious that your relationship with each other as a squad, has. Why are you laughing like that? It's like I was in the moment, and then Erica's laughing like, "Why'd you?" But I appreciate how y'all treat each other and everyone. I observe without trying to observe, and so instead of just saying thank you for your leadership, just thank you for how y'all are for real. So thanks. That's all. You didn't interrupt me. I'm trying to get off quick because I know. Okay. And really, the Equity Human Rights Plan Committee for inviting me back. Was not expecting that, so thanks. So here we go. All right. I can't believe I'm here. This is. My grandfather's name is Francisco del Rosario Mata. My father's name was Francisco del Rosario Mata Jr., and I was supposed to be Francisco del Rosario Mata III, a name filled with more words and syllables than the one my mother instinctively gave me from noticing upon arrival to this country that though there were many fellow brown people here, it is also easy to pick up that they aren't liked very much. White is better, white sounding is better, white sounding is clearer, white sounding is American. Dismissing what would have been a different, darker, browner story representative of an archipelago of 7,000 islands, now known as the Philippines. Also derivative of another colonizer, some dude named Philip. So here I am. I am Frank Mata, a reduced version of what was supposed to be. Yet, simultaneously and unapologetically, a reminder of a mother's love and intuition upon arriving to this land of the anglicized free. Instead of saying my name is Frank Mata, I don't know if you picked up on that, I'm gonna repeat it again. It's not my name is Frank Mata. I am Frank Mata. In the same manner that God said to Moses, I am that I am. I share this not to evoke commentary about religion, but more so to share how I am still continuing to learn how to make that balance between racism and colonization's influence over me and my name, and what I think is a liberated restructuring of delivering my name to emphasize its existence and power. I recently hosted a poetry slam, and one of our performers was a professor, actor, poet named Stephen Willis. Google him, so dope. And he taught me how there can be power in our names by the way we deliver them. So try it. Instead of saying, I am this, or F that up. My name is, you get the point, okay. I'm trying to build a metaphor. So all of this reminds me of its parallel. There's a parallel to the paradoxical nature of being in this American education system and society. As teachers, we are literally in the role where even in the name of doing social work, we are simultaneously in the crucial position that balances convenient inspiration to young people, or we may serve as conduits and accomplices to reinforcing the very structures we aim to combat. Now, I'm an ELA teacher. I teach 12th grade ELA, and I wrestle with that same paradox as a teacher and question the presumed authority I have over my students' writing and thinking. How I actually may be upholding and teaching standardized English language rules that serve as the ways to gain access to degrees and jobs, but also simultaneously suppress multicultural forms of English that represent Black and brown history, culture, and pride. So then I ask myself, am I encouraging that psychological segregation of codes that switch? One code is proper, formal, necessary, normal, and right. The other, it's how Abuelita expressed her love, how homies conduct codes of conduct to each other, and anything that's just not white, not needed, and not appropriate. Are we teachers coercing our beautiful babies to align and internalize one form of English as better or smarter than the other? One that is associated with, or one that is associated with the mother's tongue, the language of our community, the indicator of a separated culture. So in that conversation, when we point ish out on each other, you're not teaching that right, you're not behaving that way, we fall into policing for hypocrisy in each other, only upholding a norm that makes us feel like we are right, yet is the very crab in the bucket metaphor of stepping on others to rise. Enough. Stevie Wonder's Overjoyed, baseball double plays, a shy student's first time choosing to speak up in your class. These and many other things are what make me forget about the rules of society, the politicking of CTA, the etiquette of workplace professionalism, and imposter syndromes that choke all of our voices. Ultimately, these are free joys They elevate humanity, unending and bountiful reservoirs of love. So what are your free joys? What songs take you out of your shittiest of days? What human connections and laughter make you feel bionic and unstoppable? For the sake of our kids, let's remind each other of these free joys. And not just for the sake of our kids, but for the sake of ourselves. Thank you.
Buenas noches todos. My name is Miyuki Manzanedo, and I am currently a fourth year, second grade, two-way bilingual immersion teacher, member of Davis Teachers Association. Thank you. It's also my honor, I think I say this with pride, it's also my 9th year as a CTA member. Thank you. I had the honor of co-accepting the CTA Service Center Council Award on behalf of Student CTA in 2019. Student CTA is now known as CTA Aspiring Educators as of January State Council. This is a program within CTA, for those who don't know or aren't familiar, of aspiring educators who are either in their undergraduate or graduate level coursework with the goal of becoming a public school educator one day. I first got involved in our Aspiring Educator program in 2015 as a transfer student from UC Davis. Right away, I learned that I had found the place for me. As a child of 2 educators, raised in a CTA household, the possibilities were endless for me. You know, we were an organization at the time of 1,500 members, from campuses and members as far north as Cal Poly Humboldt and as far south as San Diego State Imperial Valley. It was the cornerstone of my college experience. I made lifelong friends, and also a past student CTA alumni. I met my now husband as well through the program. Yeah. So why am I here sharing all this? I really want to, to share a story of how aspiring educators, like how this program has truly transformed not only the lives of aspiring educators who are now have pipelined into CTA, but also some of the work that's done currently in CTA as well. In the summer of 2018, there was an NBI passed at NEARA around dismantling white supremacy culture. This NBI came with the resource that named the different characteristics and traits of white supremacy culture. And some of these characteristics really jumped out at our Aspiring Educator program. The ones that jumped out at us were power hoarding, a sense of urgency, the right to comfort, and either-or thinking. And at the time, REAC had been the one to really have these conversations. But let's be real, a lot of CTA hadn't caught up yet. Later that summer, the Student CTA Board met to create statewide goals for that year, and we decided as a statewide board that we would actively fight to dismantle white supremacy culture in order to strengthen our communication and relationship with members. What this looked like to us was keeping this list handy at every single meeting, and we would refer to it when making decisions that we knew would impact not only us as a board, or how we impacted others as a board, but also how it would affect our general membership. Prior to 2018, and I think this is a really good example of this, a good chunk of our budget would go to the SCTA board meetings in person multiple times a year. But this year, this 2018 year, we decided that we wanted to restructure this. We opted out of some of those in-person meetings and met on Google Hangouts instead. And this is pre-pandemic, so we were, this is pre-Zoom too. So we were meeting on Google Hangouts. The mute function was not very functional at that time, I will say. If one person had it on, you could hear everything. And this allowed us really to reallocate funds and really reevaluate our priorities as an association, as a program. And so this took form in, regional organizing meetups around different key issues around racial and social justice. CTA conference grants, making it more robust how we offered conference grants to aspiring educators, increasing the number of scholarships that we provided to members to help with the burden of credentialing test fees, and funded many members and committees to attend student CTA board member meetings to get as many voices in the room as possible. Now, I will say, as we know, this racial and social justice work can be scary. Having these conversations can be scary and very nerve-wracking. That goes back to that right to comfort. And we were terrified. We were terrified to bring up white supremacy culture and how it affected us and how our membership would perceive this topic that it still has a really big stigma. But we knew this was a right to comfort, and so we pushed through. And it was the best decision we could have made for the Aspiring Educator Program. And in the statewide events that we would host that year and years to follow, we facilitated experiences, not activities, experiences around showing how white supremacy culture removed parts of our members' identities, other activities on how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in an effort to decenter whiteness, and also thematic history walks showcasing intersectional identities and how certain stories have been missing from the history books. Now, it's worth mentioning that we self-nominated for the CTA Service Center Human Rights Award, and we won. Yeah, woo, hooray, we did it. Now, naturally, as the statewide president at the time, CTA invited me, and only me, to come and speak and accept the award on behalf of the entire program. Now, I did not want to engage in a level of power hoarding, and so I know the Aspiring Ed program has in the past been a loving thorn in the side of CTA at times. I know we have. So instead of it just being me up here accepting the award on behalf of the organization, I co-accepted the award with our then Secretary Treasurer, my very, very close sister, Erin Githens, and 30 aspiring educators. So when they saw us flooding the stage, they were like, okay, this is gonna max capacity of the weight on this stage. And so we found a way to make it work. But having so many members present to accept this award would not have been possible had we not had funding from the Human Rights Department, but also had we not restructured our budget to prioritize our members' experiences and opportunities to engage in professional development. Now, the work didn't stop after that 2018-2019 year. In the years that followed, leaders in the program continued to prioritize organizing, normalizing social justice work as an education issue, and building relationships in order to have these difficult conversations. SCTA's membership eventually voted to memorialize this work around naming and dismantling white supremacy culture in our program's mission statement. It read, "Student CTA believes that in order to do these things listed, we must actively fight for racial and social justice by naming and working to dismantle white supremacy culture where it exists in and outside of our organization." At the program's most recent representative assembly, the program made changes to their bylaws to remove gendered language and add a restructured leadership to have multiple designated REACT board members to continue and widen the scope of this diversity and equity work. And finally, just 2 months ago, Student CTA rebranded as CTA Aspiring Educators to have language that better honors this membership category. And I must remind you, Aspiring Educator members are not pre-members, they are full CTA members. And while it saddens me, it truly does, I am no longer an Aspiring Ed member, and I do miss those times. I look back on them with fondness and a lot of love. Nor are those that were in the program with me at the time. A lot of them have actually pipelined into CTA as current educators. And we are ready to have those conversations. We see the value in a union, and we want to be part of change. And I'm here to tell you, actually, take it back. I'm not here to tell you. I'm not here to tell you to train the next generation of union leadership. That's not what I'm asking you. You have early career educators in your building who are ready to do this work. Now, I do hear and understand the concern that the younger generation is leaving the profession at an unprecedented rate. I'm going to ask you to consider a couple things. Is there a better solution to this problem besides a listening session? While looking at the traits and characteristics of white supremacy culture, is there any restructuring that your local or our union can make to bring them into the decision-making process? I also want you to think, why do leadership teams need to be held by one generation over another? Right? What does a multi-generational leadership team look like? And how can we prioritize the needs of multiple generations within one union? Now, if you're feeling unsure or you're feeling uncomfortable with these tasks and thinking about what this could look like, I'm going to ask you, it's time to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. In order to fight this late-stage capitalism, this gig-focused economy, and white supremacy culture, we need to be asking different questions in order to empower this profession and to keep public education going. Thank you.
Thank you, closing speakers. Before we end tonight, I'd like to acknowledge the members of our Human Rights Awards Selection and Planning Committee. If you can hold your applause till the end. Christina Alanis, Palm Springs Teachers Association. Camille Butts, Association of Colton Educators. Robert Ellis, United Teachers of Richmond, and a CTA board member at large. Ian Moore, Sacramento City Teachers Association. C. Scott Miller, Santa Ana Education Association. Alberto Nodal, San Lorenzo Education Association. Brenda Walker, Association of Chino Teachers. Tanya Jaco, San Jose Teachers Association, and our board liaison. And we could not do this work without the support of our wonderful staff consultant, Michael Flores Castaneda, CTA Human Rights Department, and staff support, Naomi Gonzalez, also Human Rights Department. Hearing about the work of the illustrious awardees tonight was really inspiring and put me on a high, as I imagine it did for many of you. I'm going to apologize, but I'm going to have to take us back to reality. The United States is a white supremacist, patriarchal, cis heteronormative, sexist, xenophobic, problematic country. If you weren't aware of that before, you haven't been paying attention. Our public school system is a part of that country. If you choose to do nothing but your job, you will contribute to replicating these ideologies in your classroom with the next generation. You might not have a lot of time to do everything, but everyone has time to do something. Advise a club, get involved with your equity team, get involved with your service center, community organizations, be involved in grassroots movements for change, stand up when people are mansplaining in your union and elsewhere. Stand up when people are upholding white supremacy in your union and elsewhere. Stand up when people are perpetuating transphobia, homophobia, queer antagonism, xenophobia, ableism. If you do not, you will be responsible for continuing the problems of our nation today. But if you do, the time, energy, money, blood, sweat, tears that you sacrifice will be the groundwork for a better society for our students and future generations to come. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Keep fighting the good fight. The work continues. It never stops. It never stops. It never stops.